Coach, how do you feel like the linebackers are progressing?
Communication is getting a lot better. Today they threw in a couple new plays and got us off balance a little bit, but I thought they came back in the second part and competed. And like I said, the communication between the linebackers and the secondary is getting a lot better. And guys I thought tackled a lot better today as well.
I was going to ask you about the tackling drills, if you feel like you're making progress in that regard.
Yes, I mean, we emphasize the 3 T's every single day: tackling, turnovers, and third down. That was a big emphasis today.
Do you like what you've seen out of any of the other linebackers outside A.J. Johnson?
Yeah, I mean, I think Thigpen is having a really good spring. Sapp and Bruce still learning the position, but all he does when he goes out there, he goes 110%. One thing I do like about Brew is his maturity. He's an older guy. He carries himself like an older player, and he asks questions like an older player.
Is he one of your hardest hitters?
I think so. I think he's one of the more consistent guys. And again, he is one of those guys that don't care about his body. Now, basically, all those guys, they're not afraid at all to just stick their helmet in there. They all play physical, and they all trying to be physical. We just got to keep emphasizing run fits and what we're supposed to be on each play.
Are you still determining whether some guys can play inside linebacker or outside, or has that already been defined?
No, it's not. Because right now, what we're seeing from our own team is a lot of sub. What we mean sub is nickel personnel. So you got to find guys that can play in space. And, Brew's an ex-DB. We know he can play in space, and he's probably more natural. We call it cover down. That's a very specialized area. Guys that can walk out and cover number 2 receiver. So we got to get back to seeing some things that we normally going to see during the season. 21 personnel, 2 backs, or 1 back and 2 tight ends. So we got to find some ways to start emulating that in practice, because we'll see that a lot of those formations when we start the season.
Is there any concern with spring break coming up that the players, with that little bit of time off, might take a little bit of a step back?
Yeah, and they will, and that's kind of part of it. I mean, a lot of things they've learned now, they'll probably digress, but we all know that. But when we come back, we got to hit it back again. We got half the spring when we come back, and we'll go back to starting from day 1. Go back like this is the first day of spring ball.
Did you have trouble motivating the guys and getting them focused today? I mean, when you got a
No. I think Coach kind of set the tempo today. He was on fire this morning, man, and he was going after everybody. So the tempo got set early this morning. About 7 o'clock this morning, he was ripping coaches, ripping players, and I thought the tempo was probably the best we've had since we've been here.
Is there a concern about the last practice before spring break of getting the players' attention?
Yeah, there's normally a concern, but I thought today they were right on point. But it had a lot to do with Coach's attitude this morning. His attitude, like I said, he was on fire, and he didn't want us to lose any days practice, and so he came out on the mission. Yesterday was pro timing day. You see guys on our team, they got their eyes on that prize, and it takes a lot of work. So our mission is to make sure we focus on Tennessee, and that was his message today.
You practiced a lot indoors. Would you rather be outdoors practicing more than you have, or does it really matter?
Well, it doesn't matter. For what we're doing, I mean, the kicking game, maybe it changes a little bit. As far as the tempo things that we do, we can do it all the time.
When you're doing those drills with the linebackers going up against the tight ends or the running backs,
yeah.
I mean, what are you looking for
That's
beyond
right, because that's a hard drill. I mean, open field tackling is especially, and you never get to work that. And a lot of times you caught out in space, you don't know how to approach. And most guys like to go down the middle of them, which gives the running back a 2-way cut. We like to make sure we pick an angle, but give a running back 1 cut. And so that's the main emphasis, was taking up away space and making tackles in the open space.
Seems like a lot of work's been done with the 2 linebackers set and a 5th defensive back. Is that just a phase of the install?
Well, no, it's just about what our offense is giving us.
Yeah.
So if your offense is giving you those specialized personnel, you have to be in we'll call a nickel front.
Yeah. How much do you work with Kurt off the field to keep him in the
Well, he's right now weight room because he's trying to get all his rehab. But we all in the meeting rooms all the time. So he can play the game in his mind just as easy as when we come out here on the football field.
Tell me, how much are you guys challenging AJ to be a leader, be the guy? How much responsibility is on him to communicate?
Again, it's a privileged position, and guys respect knowledge of the game. And so, yeah, you can be big and strong and make as many tackles as you want, but your players want the knowledge. They want to know you're tough. They want to know you're smart. And for that position to gain the respectability of your teammates, you have to go out there and know your job, then know everybody else's job. And that's what we're challenging them for.
He obviously led the SEC in tackles last year, had a good season. How hungry do you sense that he is to even do better?
Oh, he got to do better. I mean, again, made a lot of tackles, but again, we emphasize his production. Tackles are tackles, but sacks, tackle for losses, calls fumbles, fumble recoveries. that's what we want out of him this year. You know, he told me he had 1 sack his whole career, so we got to get that up. I mean, so there's a lot of things that we can do better as linebackers. There's always room for improvement.